I believe what's missing in 2019, and has already been missing, is that our journals foster silos. The time has long come that we need to do cross-disciplinary research. It's even, what's really ridiculous is how within psychology we look down on one another's fields. So lots of people look down at clinical psychology. Clinical psychology looks down at psychiatry. Neuroscience looks down on everybody, and that's why they've changed their name to neuroscience. IO psychology looks down on organization development. Something absurd about this. And one thing that I didn't do, you asked me what would I do if I started over again, is read the other person's journals. Now, a person who I've always admired, and he's a close friend, and he was my colleague at University of Washington, is Terry Mitchell. He got his degree in social psychology. Then he walked out of Illinois, came to the business school at University of Washington, and immediately went into IO psychology. But he continued to subscribe and read social psychology journals. Terry Mitchell was into attribution theory before anyone in our field had ever heard of it. Now, all the social psychologists know Weiner's attribution theory, but none of us did. So he's got an edge. And boom, everything he touches back in the late 70s, early 80s around attribution theory got published like that. It was new, it was different. Continuing on cross-disciplinary research. How come we don't publish with economists? How come we don't publish with sociologists? Those are two right off the top. Now, I got an answer. Two reasons. One, we don't have a journal outlet. So I think we need a journal that accepts, instead of saying cross-cultural psychology, cross-discipline psychology. Second, we have, when I say ignorant, I mean in the dictionary term, not in a derogatory term. We have deans who are ignorant of the benefits of cross-disciplinary research because they're interested in Financial Times and the ranking of the business school, and with no journals to accept this cross-disciplinary research, where's the incentive for us as academics to conduct it? No reason why practitioners shouldn't be working with economists and sociologists and people in whether it's clinical or organization development. But the deans won't reward these cross-disciplinary. Now, I hope a dean hears this and say, well, that's total nonsense. And I hope the dean is publicly rebuffs me to as wide an audience as possible. But I don't think it's going to happen. So you asked me earlier about what's disruptive to the advancement of our field. I think the fact that we continue to think in a silo, IOs for IO, I think that hurts us. It's time to bring down back, open up the borders to other fields and approach. I think I've heard Daniel Kahneman speak several times. He's at Princeton, and he gets the Nobel Prize, and he's actively working with economists. And the research he presented to the Canadian Psychological Association was fascinating. He probably has a much higher probability than I do of getting that research published with an economist as a co-author in a psychology journal than you or I do. So time to bring down the walls.